Hello folks, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Minecraft Resonant Rise. I'm your host Kieran Dave, and I'm here to finish up what I started last episode. In between episodes, I've been adding some open block tanks everywhere, just to clear some liquid inventory to keep making fuel and whatnot, and I've upgraded my Dartcraft system substantially. As you can see, I have my force infuser, a squeezer, a bunch of tanks holding a lot of liquid force I've been pulling out of the nether, which is basically I just toss the Dartcraft gems in here, and they become, or the force logs for that matter, and then they become liquid force, which gets stored in this tank in this sort of disturbingly yellow liquid format. It then gets placed into the force infuser, which you can see has 50 buckets, and into the carpenter, which maximizes the efficiency of the liquid force as a medium for creating force ingots. So this has been going on nicely, and we'll be using this in just a little bit for the rest of the build, because if you recall, I have my mining build downstairs, and I'd like to go ahead and finish that up today, and it involves ore processing. But before I do, one of the things I've been working on is just improving my thermal expansion a little bit, because there's some stuff I would like to use. In particular, I've gotten to the point where I can make hardened glass, which is pulverized obsidian and lead, with my induction smelter. With that, I'd like to grab some tin. Maybe, you know, just let's grab 20 tin. 21 is fine too. And we will go ahead and make something that's going to be imperative for finishing up what we're working on. We're making item ducts. Woo! That's fantastic. I'm excited about this. Item ducts are this really cool new item transport system. You saw me use tubes in an earlier episode, and that was fantastic. But these are even better. They have more capabilities. In fact, they're probably one of the most capable systems I've ever seen. So we'll be using these in just a sec. However, before we head down there, we need to go ahead and make a few things that'll be necessary for us to actually process the ore that we've made. In particular, we're going to need a way to process ore. We're going to need a way to process, We're going to need a way to process ore, stone, and we're going to need to be able to take everything else and move it around. I'm going to do the moving of things back up to my base off camera, but we will go ahead and at least get the processing done so I can start running the auto miner, right? So let me gather the things we need to get started, because I think we're going to be doing some interesting stuff that you've never seen before, because it's pretty new. One moment and we'll get started. All right, so this should be pretty easy, folks. Let's just, we have these lava generators that you saw me hook them up last episode. It should be relatively straightforward for us to set up a CESU and then start doing work here. So let's go ahead and set up the CESU. Well, we can go like this, like that, and then I guess we could just toss it right here, right? And then, yeah, that'll fill up there, and that'll fill up there. Perfect. So that will mean that we can now fill this guy up. As you can see, he outputs at a pretty speedy pace. I think that for now, it'll be just fine for us to put him right here. And this will charge up pretty rapidly. It's good that we're leaving this alone for a little while, just so that we can let everything sort of get, let everything get settled. But yeah, that's just another pump another pump. It's nothing exceptional. So now, the real thing we want to do is kind of just dig a trench here, and we want to start thinking about item management, right? So what we'd like to do is set up a system. I think we can even feed this guy from below. We'll have to try. Right? We'll set up a system here with these item ducts. So the first thing we're going to want is item ducts that feed in. And if we right click on this, oh, no, not what I wanted. I'm going to run out of smooth stone. And let's just take that off my hotbar. Let's put the wrench on my hotbar. So if we right click on this, we can change his modes and all these things, right? And if we right click with an empty hand, well, you know, if I could actually switch to it. Now we can see there's an item filter. Let's go ahead and let's break one of these so I can hop out. I actually let the thing run a few times, and check out all this stuff I got. This is awesome, right? Let's go ahead and run some iron. Actually, let's run some ferrous through it. I think this is the most useful thing, because we know iron works. The question is, will ferrous work, right? Let's go ahead and ferrous. It does indeed. All right, so let's grab another one of those, and just for teaching the item system. Now, what's kind of cool too is that we can actually tell it. One of the nice things feature, this is increasingly sorting systems are getting this, is we can say ignore NBT, use metadata. This is a whitelist, and we want to use the ore dictionary. So we want to have anything that is a ferrous ore use that. So we say, I think we're in the thing where we say just do that, right? So this should be ferrous ore, no problem, and we should be able to suck it out. So that's a filter on input. We'll do better than that in a sec, because what we'd like to do here is go ahead and connect that. So now if I wrench this to turn to output mode, it should just start sucking out all sorts of amazing stuff. Or actually, no, it's not this, is it? It's, let's go ahead and turn that guy off for a sec and link up one of these right here. Right, there we go. And suck it to output mode. Now we should immediately see ferrous ore start getting sucked up. So let's make sure that we're allowed to load it this way. Oh, wow, look at nickel powder. That's cool, right? This force grinder uses the grind methodology, or I shouldn't say methodology, that's silly, but it uses the power of grinding to give us platinum and nickel. So it gives us the bonus stuff. Yeah, there we go. So there we go. Now we're loading. We're running the power. This is fantastic. Now, we get ore doubling with extras with this. There's more to it, though, than that. We actually can do even better. If you take a look at the uses for powder in the system, you can see all these dart ores. There's a lot of them, right? We have gold. That most of everything that we're going to be processing, including glass, we can actually run through here. So this is pretty cool. But let's take a look at the uses of gold powder, and you'll notice that there's a couple really interesting things we can do. We can use chew jelly, which is there's potions and alchemy and stuff. That's neat, right? That's really fun, actually. But there's also these gold chunks. If you take 4 of these and put them together, you make a gold chunk. And you can, of course, uncraft them, or you can smelt them for an extra ore. So what we're going to want to do is take all the chunks or all the dust that come out of here, and then combine them together. And this will immediately let us handle all sorts of interesting problems. So then what we can do, let's just go ahead and teach this thing. There's things we know it'll work on. There's things we know it won't. I don't know if it knows how to work on osmium ore. So let's go ahead and test that. Right, we got these things here. Oh boy, let's toss this here. So this is step 1. The other step we want, of course, is to be able to take coal from over here. Oh, we can even hear it going as it does its cute little noise. All right, so we want to take coal from here, right? Do we have any coal on hand? No. I'll grab some coal. I don't think there's any in the chest, and run that through there. We're gonna want to, of course, I may have to make even more of these too, by the way. We won't join these up yet, but we want this to take coal and then ultimately output coal coke, right? So that's something that we got to do next as well, and that will let us process these. So this is going to be our primary ore processor. As you can see, it gets pretty fast. One thing that we can do that's kind of neat is we can go like this. And then grab a little bit of, this is a lot like, well, it's a lot like an actual rotary induction furnace or the rotary macerator you'll see from other mods, where we can actually set up these sorts of things, right? So now with this, we can actually ask it to warm up in advance, and it will turn its speed up. So 1 second, I actually think I need to move this because the next thing we're going to want to do is process these things, right? We're going to want to send them out to some place to combine them to get increased ore yield, 2.5 times to be exact, and then we want to cook them. And this power should be good for cooking. So I'll go grab the rest of the things. I'm going to make, just off camera really quick, a force, not extractor, crusher, force. Probably, well, we'll see. I can make a force furnace even, but I'll probably make something to cook things offline, because it's pretty straightforward, and we'll have a way of cooking the ores with EU in just a moment. So 1 moment while I get this all set up. All right, folks. So let's go ahead and first make the thing that's going to combine our various dusts into chunks, or our powders, I'm sorry, into chunks. Now this is I think what you'd see normally people use is do something like factorization, which is a famous mod, has something called a combiner or packager. Yeah, and that will craft 9 or 4 items, and that would be perfect for this. But then we need 1 for each type, and there's 8. It feels inelegant to me. I like factorization, and I actually want to do some builds based on it. But I think we're going to, since we have all this Dartcraft infrastructure, how about if we try using Dartcraft? Now, you might be saying to yourself, I didn't know that Dartcraft had auto-crafting. Well, it does. So let's go ahead and let's clear that out. And let's make some, I made some more circuits. Storage. Made some more wire, some more circuits. Oh God, it's what we need to do is make a gray Dartcraft storage. Gray storage, right? No problem. So let's go ahead and make that. Now, this is a basic thing from Dartcraft. It actually has a bunch of potential to be upgraded, but as it starts, it's just a chest made out of stone. It's actually sort of useful in that it has an access list. It's not as good as the, yeah, you can see we can set restricted or closed. I think Blue Dart will eventually probably upgrade this, since, but you can see that you can break them. You can even upgrade them to do all sorts of interesting things. Let's do one of those upgrades now. So we need to be able to hold, you saw the inventory is quite small. So what we'd like to do is craft a storage unit upgrade, which is pretty simple so long as we get a chest to work with here. Right? So we should just be able to just craft it. There we go. I think I can only do one right now at my current tier. Even if I could do two, I don't think I need it. So all I have to do is toss this in here, toss this in here, go. And we go to 54 slots, which is pretty big now, right? So we're pretty happy with that. Well, that'll be fine for now. Now, you're still maybe thinking to yourself, Dave, I don't get it. What the heck are you doing? So let me give you a crash course in making this box red. No, we already knew about that. What we're going to do is make something called item cards. Let's go ahead and pull up our crafting screen. Oh wait, do we have it? We do have everything we need. Okay. Item cards work in conjunction with Dartcraft storage, and most famously packs. Let's see, we can go like this, and I think I don't have any lapis. Well, no, I do. I should have enough. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we need 8. Whew, boy, this is kind of getting to be an inventory situation here. Let's go ahead and put a few things. Let's hide a few things away. Yeah. We'll just, yeah, that'll have to do for now. So these item cards, if we were to right click them, we can name them, we can, right? We can't recolor them, but we can upgrade them. If we right click, we can see that these actually have different, we can actually set them to, like, for example, take berries, and you can tell it to suck it up into your pack or resupply from your pack, or just to, know about them. But that's not actually what we want to do. What we want to do is upgrade these suckers. So as you can see, we've got this card here. What we'd like to do is craft a crafting table. Now this is a pretty different thing, so I'm not sure if people know you can do this, but let's go ahead and just get 8 of these. And toss this in. We only need 1. And this will fundamentally change the card. Its nature is entirely different now. As you can see, it changes color to represent what's been done to it. Right? Hello? But now, instead of a simple simple grid for ups and downs, it actually has a crafting grid. And as you can see, we can put a recipe in. Now, what does that do with respect to our chest? Well, this is pretty cool. I didn't know about this until recently. If you toss one of these things in, so let's say we toss that, right? And now we put in, let's say we get 8 wood. So 6 wood, nothing happens. 7 wood, nothing happens. 8 wood, but the system auto-crafts it into a chest. Now, tell me that's not really, really useful. Do you see what we're going to do here? What we're going to do is I'll just leave this here. We're going to teach this chest via these item cards how to actually, what it needs to do is be able to turn every single type of powder into a chunk, right? And I think what we can even do is we can go like this. We can do chunk. I think that this should work too. It worked in a previous, no, I guess it worked briefly and then it went away. But all we need to do is just teach it how to go about doing this. So we just need to make chunks of every type of ore. I'm going to go ahead and finish upgrading all these cards, right? And then I'm going to put them all in a chest and we will get them moving. So give me just a minute to do that and to do a little bit of basic inventory management. And then I'll go back down and we'll keep going with the next part of the build. Whew, boy, folks, I've been experimenting a little bit off camera just to make sure that I get everything right. So I brought down the chest and I've trained each of the cards. Lead, iron. Not sure what this one is. Why didn't you get named? Ah, that's copper, the one I had to do last second. I realized I'm not going to find any copper at this level, but for all I know, later on I'm going to like tesseract ores down here or teleport them, things like that. This is the first time I'm using these item ducts, so I thought I'd mention them just a little bit, just to show you. I have this chest kept here as an input. The thing never auto-ejected, so it was never going to go out here. I just kind of put things here to hold them, but it's also equally set up to go over here. So, ooh, cool, tracks. We'll have to get those out. I'm almost done setting it up, but basically things come out of there and they are presented with two choices. They can either turn left or right. Right, there is this thing called, let me just pull out the correct wrench to work with these and put that away. There is various, well, let me turn on this. There we go. Thank you, Wyla. Item ducts have a few different really cool modes. For one, they can be told to connect to things or disconnect. So you'll see that here I could make it connect. I'm not going to. No. Well, let's see what happens. So it's going to try and go down to one of the various paths. It knows where it can and can't go. And so basically this little mini sorting system here, just made with item ducts, whoa, that gets put together. And we should be able to see here that those train tracks are going to be sent to the output chest. Now, let me show you exactly how that magic happens. For one, these dense modes are sort of like restriction tubes from Red Power, or for really just restriction tubes in any sorting system. They basically say, don't take this route unless it's really the last possible route you could take. I have two of them in a row just to make sure that you understand this is the output to the system. And you can see there's lots of stuff here I've been working on. Let's go ahead and just close this back up a little bit so that I can actually walk around without falling in. I'm almost ready to close it up. And I may even try to make this room nicer because, to be honest, I sort of had this idea in my head, but I didn't really realize quite how awesome it would be. So now that I get this system, it's going to be incredibly good. This is one of the better ore processing systems I've ever built on camera. Anyway, so input chest here, it's presented with the left and right. The right also has a dense mode, so if it can go left, which is a little bit further, that's hence the dense mode, we will go left. When can it go left? It can go left if it's a piece of ore that I want to go into this. So if we have silver, ferrous, tin, gold, iron, I didn't grab a copper, I'm going to have to do that. Before we go on, just because it might be worthwhile. It goes into a hopper because Dartcraft machines don't really understand thermal expansion item ducts yet. They will soon. Apparently there's a new protocol you're supposed to implement. So this force grinder will then take things and put them into the chest. Now, like I said, we've got all these different cards here. So let me go ahead and you can see I've got some chunks in my inventory. When the stuff goes in, and let's go ahead and start that so we can talk about it. Let's just toss in the 17 silver ore I mined a minute ago. So it'll be gone in a sec, you can see. It's now currently moving underneath. It should be here any second. Hello? I know you're slow, but this seems a little egregious. Did you go this way? No. Ah, there we go. Just takes a little while. These things are not fast at all. Okay, so then it goes in the hopper and starts getting fed in. Now you'll notice this goes really fast because it's being kept at a max speed, right? And then this starts pulling it out and tossing the chunks in. The chunks immediately get formatted and tossed into this furnace. Now, if chunks of a certain type can't go in, so for example, the lead chunks can't go in yet, then they're just kept there until they can go in. Because of course, and there you can see we're beginning to output finished silver bars. Of course, this system, you can see by the way, the output is back there, and it's just generic. Of course, the system only has one furnace. I could improve that, but you know, whatever. The silver bars come flying out in large groups. It's fantastic, right? Now, it's interesting. You'll notice that the powder is staying in here, as are the cards. They aren't being output because I told it to filter a blacklist on the output. This is really cool that we could do this. We could say only suck out things with this blacklist, or that don't match this blacklist. And we say don't suck out things that are either powder or cards. Now, wait a second. Powders all have different IDs. Well, they actually have different metadata. You notice that 4? Each one of the Dartcraft powders has a different metadata. So we tell it to ignore the metadata. You can see the metadata is crossed out. And we also tell it to ignore NBT. So now anything that matches this ID, and that's all it cares about, or this ID minus the colon, that's all it cares about, will get sucked out, but nothing else will. So now we're getting rid of all of our lead. It all gets sucked out and taken to our output chest. It's getting pushed through there. And of course, you'll notice that I did have to put a transformer upgrade. I actually knew I had to do this in advance. I didn't blow one up. Cool, huh? But yeah, so there, as you can see, we're sucking things out, and we're not even really wasting any power or anything. We're just doing exactly what we need, and this auto crafting system just works. So now there's a couple other interesting routes. For example, I could toss in some ferrous ore, this Vintium ore. Let's also toss in a few chunks just to show what happens there. Some Adlaris ore, some bauxite ore, and let's toss in some cobble as well. All this stuff can go in. Don't even worry about it. Itemducts don't care. They are the honey badger of sorting systems. They can really handle a lot. And COFH prides themselves on being the most efficient. So you can see here the ferrous ore is going to go in there. Meanwhile, the chunks have been fed in here. Now, normally they'd never end up there, but they're not going to. The cobblestone is going over, well, you can see, it would look like I have a bug in my thing that stops dusts from going out, so I'll have to make sure to do that. But excitingly, other stuff like the Vintium dust got smelted. So let's go ahead and pull these out and just make sure, because I'm pretty sure that should work. That's 6307, 6307-2, 6307-6. I have to debug this a little bit, which is why I brought you in. I'm almost done working out the kinks. It really should not be outputting this. I'm kind of surprised that it is. Let's go like this. What happens if I do that? Yeah, it's outputting for some reason. I wonder why. Well, I'll sort that out in a sec. But anyways, cobblestone goes into this ME condenser, or cobblestone or sand. If we find either of those things, they go into this condenser, and we're going to start working on a singularity, which is really, really cool. As you can see, it incremented a little bit. Now let me just hop up here. Now this coke oven here, I have to get rid of the fluid, but the coke oven is going to accept any coal we find. And it accepts that, and then we just got to flip this around. Right. This will turn any coal we find into coal coke, because we have a whitelist on inputs and outputs. So we only allow inputs and outputs. So that's pretty straightforward, right? I know that's pretty straightforward, but whatever. It's not actually. Finally, I'm going to dig underneath this and put a route to get all our rails over here, because as you recall, this is where we re-rail and refuel the engine. So we want to make sure that the engine has lots of rails and fuel. I wish that I could target the bridge builder. If anybody knows how to make that work, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to do a few things to just like kind of check on the system every so often. I also came and lowered this a little bit. I realized I wasn't quite hitting the diamonds. I can still hit gold at this level, and with the height, and I can still hit diamonds. So this is the best compromise level. So yeah, this is where we're going to go ahead and put things. But yeah, so you can see we got our nice evenly spaced spurs here. I'm going to start up the system in just a minute. I'm just going to work out a last few of these kinks, like why is dust going out there? It should be using metadata for a blacklist. So why aren't you using metadata for a blacklist? Oh, system. But you can see here that wow, it just outputs it right there. It really shouldn't even be able to do that. That's weird. Well, I'll figure it out in a sec. I'm sure that it's something silly, something straightforward. But yeah, so we will be done with this build in just a minute. Now, this will be the output, and we'll have to finish that up last. But let me just go ahead and get the last few kinks worked out. You get the idea, right? And then we'll get the... Interesting. I should have taken the bauxite, too. I wonder why I didn't. Oh, you know why? Yeah, it needs to know this. So one of the tricks I use is that it's going to send out the chunks, right? But if the chunks, if this is full, so let's say we have, let me toss in some, well, I don't really have any chunks. I just processed them all for you. I have one. If there is a chunk that can't go into this, it would try and find a different destination. So what I did was firewalled this from taking chunks. If I can show you right here. I said, don't take chunks. And I didn't know about the metadata and the ID thing at the time. So I basically said, don't take any of the chunks and you're fine. But unless it doesn't have copper there. So I'm going to switch that up. I could also say, don't take any dusts. And don't use, we're going to ignore the metadata and ignore MBT. Right, so now that should just work. It should go right in there. Interesting. I wonder why it's allowed to go in there. Well, I'll figure it out. Oh, you know why? That is a problem. That is a problem. I'll have therein lies my issue, folks. Is that the chunks and the dusts are all the same type. So I'm going to have to do a manual assignment of those. It's interesting that it worked at all, huh? Like you would think. Oh well. I will get this fixed up and we'll be done in just a minute, and I'll close this all up. So yeah, then we'll probably start the system, watch it run a little bit, and I'll show you what we're going to work on next. All right, folks, I know we're running a little long, but let's go ahead and finish up this build because it's been dragging on forever. And I know you guys are probably interested to see me build better stuff. So let's start by, what I'm going to do is actually use a thing from Thermal Expansion. We use strong boxes, which are mobile chests. Now, I could use Dartcraft for this, but honestly, I would rather use Thermal Expansion. So there's these tiered recipes. If we start here, we can see that we start with a basic thing like this. Let's see. Don't have any chests. So I've, by the way, upgraded to an ME crafting terminal, which is pretty exciting. I like it a lot. So we go like this, pull out a chest, toss it in, do this. Yes. Toss it in. Isn't this better? Oh yeah, this is how I have missed thee. Now, the Resonant strong box, which is the one we want. So if we pull this out, make sure that we have our crescent wrench at hand. You can see what this does. So if I push this down, it's a pretty big chest, and I can even set it to my friends list or something like that. And if I wrench it, shift right click, it goes back into my inventory. And even cooler, I could toss, say, some of this Atlaris ore in there. It's in there. And then if I put it back down, it'll have it. So it's like you get Dartcraft wrenching all the time. Everyone who said, hey, Dartcraft is op for letting you do this. Yeah, well, there you go. Thermal Expansion did it, and did it even more hardcore. So there's no fuel involved. But this is not where we want to stop, right? We actually want to go a little bit further. So let's go ahead and toss this in here. And then what we need is Enderium Blend. Now, I've been prepping over here just a little bit of the things we need. So you can see I have a bucket of resin ender, tossed my last 4 ender pearls into the magma crucible and bucketed it. So now I have this bucket of resonant ender, which I'm told is super fun to play with still. Let's hope we don't lose it. But, what if I were to just make a little divot and toss this in here? What happens? So I can still pick it back up. Look, let's go. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Wow, that stuff has gotten more volatile, not less. Awesome. We'll have to use that in some entertaining way because that's just cool. I know that he said he made it more volatile. I'm glad that he did. All right, that should get this. Over here. Yeah, there we go. So I think if we just clear this out and find uses for this, like so, that should give us 4 Enderium dust, which now if we smelt, will give us the ingots we need. Will this cook? Or does this have to be cooked in a... well, I don't want to make my dazium. Oh, I need pyrothermium dust. What is... Oh, crafting terminal. Pyrother. How do I make you? Pyrother. How do I make you? Oh, that's not too bad. What I do need to do is grab a little bit of coal. Toss it in there. Coal. Fortunately, I have a fair sum. Toss it in here. And let that pulverize for just a sec. Do. There we go. I'll have to start automating some of these crafting procedures. So we go pyrothermium and like so. We'll have to do a bunch of these. But let me just show you how that'll work. So this is the induction furnace. Toss this in with a friend. And ta-da, evidently that's how awesome this has to be. So let me go ahead and finish making this chest just to show you Resonant Strongbox. This is what we're going to be doing. Sorry. Pretty simple. We just have to cook the rest of these up. So I need to make a few more coal dust, which is no fun. I'll be right back. Hey folks, I'm back. I was just inviting Sace and Luke to check this out because I think this is pretty much done. So my mining cart is, you've seen it, out and running. Hey Sace, hey Luke.
What up?
Hey.
The Shoop speaks.
Yes, the Shoop does indeed have a voice.
So...
Blasphemy.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's unprecedented. So check this out, guys. I'm going to toss some stuff in the input chest up here. some ores, and I don't know, some saplings in a bucket. You can see it's sort of like a mini sorting system.
I think I hear my skeletal brethren in pain.
Yeah, if they're mad, I don't care. They keep coming in. They keep coming and staring at me through the window like jerks.
We are jerks.
So, this system is really crazy. You can see here, like, it uses Dartcraft machines and auto crafting. So, as you can see, other stuff is going to get routed and eventually get put in this strong box, which is the output. But this system basically makes powders and then uses Dartcraft to auto-craft those into chunks for a total multiplier of 2.5x. All incoming sand and gravel and, well, actually not gravel, but all incoming sand and cobble gets immediately condensed in the ME condenser. It produces its own fuel, which it then feeds out into the primary system. So if it runs across any coal, it'll refine it. And the whole system is automated and can actually extend out sort of into infinity. Although chunk loading, I'll have to build better carts eventually to make it all work. But it's a pretty intense endeavor. This is the most complicated mining system. Here, let me open this up for you guys.
Easy with you, man.
There, you guys can walk out through this one now. Oh wow, my cart killed a skeleton.
Told you.
That's just how he rolls.
Well, that and, you know, actually rolling. But yeah, you can see that he's just going to tear through, go and get stuff and bring it back. And it's all just going to be transparently harvested and collected. I'm really, really happy with this build. This is like probably 6 hours in total of work.
That thing is terrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty Mordor level. Oh boy, so check this out. He's not going to dig any further. Everybody stand off the track, please. Watch, he's going to dig about a little bit further, and then he's going to like go, You're going to see his lights go up. Yeah, nah. And now he's just going to keep going. He doesn't care. He's the honey badger.
That's pretty cool. And you can upgrade the drill to make them actually take out bigger spaces.
And go much faster, yeah. Actually, Steve Karts is quietly the best miner in all of Minecraft, basically. Like, it can do 5x5 pretty much as fast as anything possibly can. I think the only thing that can go possibly faster is, like very, very specific and weird builds from Ars Magica, or just ridiculous degrees of Tinker's Construct. But that's not like, those involve human interaction. This is automated.
Well, that, and you can throw a chunk loader on the actual cart itself, and they can become like totally autonomous.
Yeah. So people, I was saying earlier, people asked me to do Railcraft, and I sort of decided to do Steve's Karts instead, because I've never seen this system done like right and totally autonomous, and then hooked up to an on-site ore processing.
Yeah, I do like the auto processing part though. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, so what you do is you just you can craft those things into chunks. It's pretty slick. And then you get if you take 4 powders and turn them into chunks by putting them in a 4x4, then you get then you get 5 when you smelt it.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And you could also just substitute this for your ore processing of choice.
Exactly. I chose Dartcraft just because, again, this is something I've never seen on camera before. I thought it was pretty slick.
If only I could get golems to mine.
What's happening.
Well, Luke, so the one thing we were talking about Dartcraft, one thing that you can do is, this is what that Dartcraft chest like I showed you, and you can put crafting cards in here, and it'll automatically craft what you ask for from those cards for the inventory you put in. The most complicated part to set up was the pipes in between everything.
Okay.
Well, actually, the most complicated part was these damn carts. They're ridiculous.
They're also fairly. Sorry.
That's all.
I was just saying they're also fairly time consuming. Like a complicated cart can take like up to like a half an hour to an hour.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. And this is like barely even the most complicated one we could have. So this guy's only got 7 track left, so he's about to turn around. He didn't get any diamonds on his run. That's too bad.
There's some emeralds down here.
Yeah, I could. The great thing about this is I can come through and sort of clean up. But unfortunately, I need really when I upgrade this guy, I can give him ore intelligence, where he will, if he is drill bit touches an ore, it'll suck the ore out of the walls intelligently. And unfortunately, that doesn't fit in the standard hull, so I have to wait until I can make an upgraded hull.
Looks kind of like a cartoon mosquito from this angle.
Could you stand out of the way, Luke? I think he's upset at you.
I think there's a module you can plug into that to have it actually suck up the liquid too.
Yeah, I'm thinking that I may actually, instead of using a tesseract to move things down, I may actually use a. Oh, here we go. Here's the transfer. The big test.
Here.
Hey, I'll watch for him. Grab it.
Feel free to grab anything you want out of those ores. Oh, this is so cool, guys. So I'm not sure, though, if we're doing this right. Because I'm not seeing it extract, so I may have to do something fancy with that. It's not extracting out of this. Oh, I know why. Derp.
Blockage in your output.
Yeah. No, I just had deliberately disconnected it because I'm dumb.
Oh. I do that way too often while doing like pipes and stuff.
Yeah, so you can see the ores are going up this way, other stuff is going that way. It is way cool. Although it looks like we didn't get too many ores in this run. Oh, no, we got a few. We got some silver here.
You automatically turning all your coal into coke?
Yeah, I'll have to automate removing the changing it. I love that noise. It's the most musical. Whoa! Why did it fly out?
It just ejected a bunch of stuff at us.
I've never seen it do that before. I don't know why.
You knew we were watching.
Well, I've never seen the system before, so I didn't really know how to build it. It'll take a little bit of debugging, I think.
I think it's kind of cool that it just randomly sprays shit at you.
It really shouldn't do that. There's like nothing here that should ever drop.
Yeah, my first Buildcraft quarry did that to me. I actually like destroyed my map with items spewing out of it. That was a long time ago.
But yeah, so I'm pretty happy with this build. So I think I'm going to end my episode here, folks. Like or subscribe. Go look at Sace's awesome Feed the Beast thread and give him mad Google juice by linking to Awesome and Minecraft in his thread because he's an amazing builder. And check out... Oh, look, he's coming back with more stuff. Yay. I wonder what he's doing. So this is the fun part I love. I love this part. So he's going to send off the derailer to clear that line. So once he gets some fuel, he hangs up here and the derailer goes and he's going to clear the line for us. Oh, it looks like he couldn't build a bridge here. I guess he needs some bridging materials. Oh well. Folks, please leave a like or subscribe. Thank you very much. Make sure to check out Sace and Kane's YouTube channel, or Kane's YouTube channel and Sace's forum thread. And I'll see you next time.